I'll be talking about my, like, how I was with braces, my experience with braces. I couldn't think of the word. So yeah, hold on, something just popped up. Okay, so this is the second time I talk about this because I accidentally deleted the last live that I did. So this is the second time I talk about this on a live. So if you guys have already seen this but are back on, hi. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna be talking about, like, the beginning of the whole braces thing. What happened in the beginning, what happened in the middle, what happened in the end, when you should, like, when you can eat and when you shouldn't eat, like some examples, and like the wires, the rubber bands, like, you know, the basic ones that you get to pick the color, the other rubber bands that it goes like from here to here, for example. And then I'll also be talking about power chains, and then I'll be talking about like how it was for me when I got my braces off, which I got them off, and now I have what's it called? Now I have retainers. So yeah. Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna be talking about, like I said, was the beginning of the whole process, which it was that in the beginning, I, like, at first, you know, everybody says, oh, I want braces, and then they're like, oh, like, once you have braces on, you're like, oh, I don't know if I want them on anymore, I kind of want to take them off, which that's what happened with me. I was like, I don't think I want my braces on anymore, I think I want to take them off. But, you know, we can't choose that. We have to keep it on if we already have it on. I was like, I don't want to have it on anymore and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, obviously, I need it. And I didn't really need it that bad because it was only my two front teeth on the top that were like, they were like this. So they were like crooked. And, you know, I didn't need it because of that, because it'd be better to get it. Sorry, okay. Okay, something just popped up on the screen and I just wanted to make sure that I was reading it. Okay, but yeah. Anyways, besides that, when you put on braces, it's like, it's gonna hurt at first and you won't be able to close your mouth, you won't be able to, like, really do anything. You'll have to only eat things that are liquid, not solid, not anything like that. It can't be hard, chewy, nothing. It has to be something like liquidy for at least a week or until the pain goes away. And something that you can use to take away the pain is like Tylenol. I think you can do it with some other pills, but I'm not sure. Your dentist will tell you. But I know Tylenol I used. I think I also used Aleve or my voice, or Alive. No, is it Aleve or Alive? I call it Aleve. I'm gonna call it Aleve. But you can also use Tylenol and Aleve, and probably some other ones. And yeah, it's gonna hurt and everything, but then the pain will go away after like that week. Then it'll go away and you'll be like, oh, okay, it's fine, it's not that bad anymore. Like, you be relieved from all that pain. But obviously you still have the braces on. So something you need to remember is, okay, I have braces on, so it's gonna hurt every time that, like, if they switch the wire, they're gonna hurt. Every time that somebody switches the wire, it's going to hurt. Trust me. But if they don't switch, like, the wire, because sometimes they just won't switch the wire afterwards, because for me at least, they stopped switching the wire after like 4 or 5 times of having my braces on. after like 4 or 5 appointments, they just stopped changing the wire and making it tighter. And when they change the wire and they make it tighter, then it's going to hurt and it's gonna go back to square one. And you're only gonna be able to eat things that are liquid and all that kind of stuff. But you know, eventually it'll be fine and you'll be like over it. So I'll be like, oh, it's okay, it doesn't really matter anymore. But at first it will hurt. And after all of that, it's like, how do I explain it? After all of that like pain that you go through, it's still worth it. Because, sorry, I wanted to get comfortable. Because afterwards your teeth will like just be straight and white, and that's like perfect. Something that I had a problem with my braces was that I would always get, I think it was called plaque. No. I don't know what it was called. They said a name, but I can't remember exactly what they said. But it was white stuff under, like, beneath my teeth. I would get that on top of my gums. And what they said was that just eats away your gums, and you have to brush well and all that kind of stuff. And you're going to get that when you have braces. You're going to get it. Because I have seen that people, like, do have it all the time. And you're going to get it. But it doesn't mean, oh, when I get my braces off, my teeth are going to be yellow. They're going to be so bad. No. Because mine are not yellow. They are whiter than I imagined that they would be. And when you go in that dentist office to put on braces, don't be nervous because it doesn't generally hurt whenever they're putting it on. It does not hurt. But when they do take it off, we'll talk about that later. But back to like the wires and everything. So there are steps with the wires. First, it's the wires where they changed and everything. Okay, let's say you're past that step. Then after that step, there's what's it called? There's another step where it's, yeah, there's the rubber bands that are just the normal ones that go on top of the wires, but those are not the rubber bands I'm talking about. The rubber bands I'm about to talk about are the ones that go from here to here. So the ones that go from here to here, those are the clear yellow ones. Like they're yellow, but they're yellowish but clear. And those are like, you're gonna go back to square A. Of course, like, you can't close your mouth, it's just gonna hurt. So it's gonna hurt to eat a lot of food whenever you put on those rubber bands. I know that I would put it on, like, I had a few. I had one from here to here, which on both sides. I had one that was like from down here up my 2 front teeth and then down again, which that one was for only the nighttime, and it was like, it was horrible. I couldn't eat, I couldn't really talk or anything. And then there's another one that they put like 2 little things behind my back tooth, and they put a rubber band from there to here because I had an overbite. So that happened. Everything that they did was to help it. And then after the rubber bands, it's the power chains. Of course, the rubber bands are gonna hurt, but the power chains hurt. And not only that, but you're way back at square A again, where it hurts so much that you have to at least have a few things liquidy. I don't think for a week I didn't have to have it like that, but at least a few days. Because at first it's not gonna hurt. But, you know, power chains is more when you're already like going to the end. And that's like, it's just one like rubber band, those normal ones, one for each, like one for the bottom, one whole one for the bottom, and one whole one for the top. Like, for me, it hurt a lot. But afterwards, you know, you'll get used to it, the pain will go away. But obviously, it will hurt, but they won't have to like change it or anything. The only thing that they have to change is the color because it gets worse. And that color starts fading, like the rubber bands, the color of it starts fading so much. I had blue and pink, and the pink turned more into like a peach color, and then the blue turned more like a green. So it was still cute, but it was like super different. And after all of that, it's like you get your braces off, and it's a giant relief and everything. But something that you have to know is like, okay, I'm gonna get my braces off. It might hurt. A lot of people say, no, it doesn't hurt. No, it doesn't hurt at all. It doesn't hurt at all. Because I looked it up on YouTube at first before I got there, and I was like, does it hurt to get your braces off? And there was so many people that said no. And it's not that it doesn't hurt. I don't know about, like, I kind of do and kind of don't. For me, it did hurt because I have sensitive teeth. Well, some of my teeth are sensitive, some of them. The rest aren't. And the ones that weren't sensitive didn't hurt at all. At the same time, it did kind of, like, there was a few that weren't sensitive, but it would still kind of hurt only because the glue would have it on so tight that it would hurt. But it wasn't like horrible or anything like that. Sorry, I'm yawning. But it wasn't horrible or nothing like that. It was just that hurt so much whenever it was like my sensitive teeth. So if you have sensitive teeth, just know it's gonna hurt. And if you don't have sensitive teeth, then no, it's not gonna hurt so much. It might hurt only if the glue has it on so tight. And then when the glue is, like when they're trying to take off the glue, if you don't have sensitive teeth, it most likely shouldn't hurt. I know for me, whenever it was for the non-sensitive teeth, it didn't hurt. But when I had the sensitive teeth, it did hurt. When they were taking off the glue, because it felt like cold air, like as if you had a cavity. But you don't, it's just cold air and it's really weird. I was thinking, what else do I have to say? But yeah, that's basically like that. There's also things that you shouldn't eat. Also, I tried to eat a candy apple. No, a caramel apple. I failed. I don't know, I guess I forgot how to eat an apple or something. Unless it was like a hard apple, because my mom even said it was a hard apple. But anyways, I was trying to eat it, and I couldn't eat it. And I was like, what is going on? This is so weird. My thing just fell. But yeah. Something that you shouldn't eat whenever you have like braces on is like okay, we all know that we don't listen to the dentist whenever they say things because obviously they're the dentist. But you shouldn't eat gum because it's hard to get it out of your brackets. Believe it or not, it's hard. Like, I'm not gonna say that you should stop eating it forever because I know there are a lot of people that are like, oh, I like eating gum every once in a while, and now that I have braces, I can't eat at all. And it's like, that's what you should do, but not necessarily. At least try not to eat it all the time, but I would suggest that if you do want to actually eat it, at least eat it like once or twice a week. Anything like ice, don't eat ice. Just don't eat ice unless, because I ate ice. And I ate it this way kind of sometimes, but not, I don't know why I'm yawning so much, but not exactly like so much. I ate it more like differently. But don't eat ice unless it's been sitting in your water for quite a while, and it's like if you just grab your finger and you go and you smush it, that it's able to break. Or that if you even put it in your mouth and it just like you bite on it just a tad bit, that it breaks. Okay, that's fine. But oh my god, I don't know what's going on, guys. Sorry. But other than that, I wouldn't suggest necessarily doing it because, you know, I wouldn't really do it because it is kind of annoying. Like, oh, one of my brackets will come out. Like, I ate a waffle cone and one of my brackets came out. But my braces were also, like, getting used to my mouth, I guess. I don't know. But you can eat a waffle cone. It's just, you know, you have to be careful. And then, obviously, at first, you shouldn't eat anything, like, hard, like meat or anything that's, you know, hard when you're first getting it and it hurts. But afterwards, you can. It's just, be careful and make sure that you actually get every little piece of meat out of your mouth because they do get stuck between your brackets. And if there's a part of the meat that's like super duper hard and you're like, okay, this is really hard, but whatever, it's so good, let me keep on trying to eat it. And it's like, let's say for example this, if I was to bite this, I would never be able to actually break it or anything. So if you can't actually break it, or if you just make a little dent in it, do not just give up there. You can eat things like chips. You can eat fruits. There are vegetables that I wouldn't eat. For example, I wouldn't eat like anything celery. I haven't eaten, sadly. Carrots, or you can eat broccoli. You shouldn't eat apples that are like the whole apple. You can eat the apples that are sliced. So I don't know. I have a hard time actually thinking about that. But yeah, that's really like my suggestion on what you should and shouldn't eat. And of course, if the dentist say it, we all know we're not gonna pay attention. I never did. Not even with the rubber bands. So yeah. Bye guys. I hope you guys really like this like live. Please like, subscribe, and share. And also check out my other channel that is like brand new. I have it in my description. So yeah, bye guys.